Man, that's such a bumping intro. Does it remind you of the Musters a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Yes.
Welcome to the Midnight Society.
Aloha.
Wow, it seems like I just got here again.
Little bit.
What do you think? Is this good, or you want me to make it small? Okay, good. All right, good. Welcome to the Midnight Society. Glad you guys are here. So as you can see, we are joined by special guest, Gorphobe, who's come over here to share his love and appreciation for Jason here in Part 7, The New Blood.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you were here, sir. Al, as always.
I'm here. How's it going?
Doing well. How was everybody's week?
Pretty good.
Mine wasn't bad. I thought it was going to get bad here about 10 minutes ago. I thought I was going to have the same problem I had a couple of weeks ago, but thank goodness. Thank goodness I am here.
Yes.
You made it. So we're all good, brother. All right, let's see. Who's Cozy's not gonna be able to make it tonight. Got to get up early.
Who's not making it? Oh,
Cozy.
Cobb? Oh, yeah, I saw that. See, Charles is here and Hobbs is here bringing campfire goodies.
Yeah.
Drake
in the
is good. Let's see. I'm sorry, Star-Lord.
Yeah,
Hey,
Star-Lord's in the house.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yes, very.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, look, even Patrick's in the house. How about that?
That's right. The Cheeto will probably be making a guest appearance later on, as he's been known to do as of late.
Betty's here as well. Betty J. Gathers.
Oh, Betty, welcome. Hi, Gretchen. How are you? Glad to see you're here. June.
Hey, baby.
Yep. So, yeah, we're really sorry about that, man. That sucks. So tonight we are talking about the Mighty Part 7. Jason, the New Blood.
Yeah.
All I gotta say about this movie, it is fun. This is a fun entry.
It's a good time for sure.
Definitely is. This is definitely the most popcorn of the movie so far. I do wish though that John Buechler would have had like he mentioned during the commentary. I watched the commentary. He wished that he could have spaced the kills out a little bit more to have more character development in this one. And I agreed with that. I think that it would have been nice if they could have spread it out a little bit more, and because they had a really good story. The story is, as far as the plot goes, this is like the most fun so far.
They chopped up his kills too, kind of like on Part 5. You could tell, like for instance, when I can't remember who it is, but he takes the knife to the gut and falls down. That right there was a backup kill because they was trying to make the R rating. So
right.
He definitely got censored a lot.
Let me ask you guys a question now, where we're watching the series as it is. What would you rate this series today if you were on the ratings board? What would you rate this series as far as the violence go?
R.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would just do an R. I would. Yeah. I've seen worse in PG-13 movies nowadays. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. I was thinking about that and going, man, the way they cut this movie is just like it came across as more PG-13. In a lot of respects. I mean, it's like they could have got away with the PG-13 rating. I mean, I've seen PG movies now, Bloomhouse or whatnot, or I just seen more gore, more violence in a PG-13 movie than I did in this one. I was just like, wanted to see what you guys thought.
Maybe in the 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah.
when they were actually using PG-13 a lot.
So obviously, they had to come up with a good story. There's a lot to like about this. This is also the first appearance of the mighty Kane Hodder as Jason. He is without a doubt the best Jason, and there's no discussing it. There's just none. There's no debate on that. He not only, I mean, what really got the impression I got from watching it too is that Kane Hodder is a hell of an actor as well.
Physical actor, yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you can tell the difference between him and the others. He has a certain presence about him. Jason.
Yeah, like little things during the movie, like for instance, when he doesn't have the mask on, he's pissed, and you can see him moving his jaw. You know what I mean? You can just tell. Just little things like that.
Yeah,
it's little things that count.
I was listening to, like I said, I was listening to the commentary, some of the extras, and Laura Park Lincoln was sitting there saying how she could see him acting through his eyes. It's like she could make eye contact, and she commented on how he was saying so much and acting so much behind all that latex and all that makeup and all that, and I was just like, and she's right. It was so impressive, and they picked the right person. I mean, John Buechler knew exactly what he's doing and when he did it. And it's no mistake that he popped up in 8 and 9 as well. But before we get more into that, you want to chop it up? Want to get into it? Or are you yeah, because I think there's a lot to talk about in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Glad everybody's here. I see Echoes here. I see Cal's here. Welcome. Those who want to share us out, that would be awesome. Hello, Mark the Shark in the house. We're gonna get into Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, and shall we let our guest?
Can I make a point real quick?
Huh?
Can I make a point real quick? Like building on what you said about the acting with the eyes, because that kind of struck a nerve. In modeling, they'll do that a lot too. As a matter of fact, Tyra Banks calls it when your eyes smile. She has a name for it. She calls it smizing. That's actually a very hard thing to do, to be able to act, show emotion with just your eyes.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that in.
Well, would our guest like to lead us off on this merry-go-round of a story?
No, you guys go ahead.
Well, we open up the film with a montage. As they've done, they did it for the first few films, and they got away from it.
Yep.
And so they came back and they did a montage of some of the previous films. I thought the montage was pretty well done too.
It was, however, as I was watching the montage, I was kind of I was seeing if it told a story, and it did, but if you hadn't really seen the movies, it was kind of disjointed. I thought. I mean, it was well done and everything, but it was just, if you had no knowledge previously, I could have seen you being a little confused.
Sure. I thought they did it. I thought it was interesting because they did it. They focused on the stars of the movie. They had Corey Feldman in there, and they had Tony Goldwyn in there, which I think by the time this movie came out, he had already started to rise. So I think that's one of the reasons why they threw him in there as well. I think that's just part of it. But they showed some of the kills. And they showed, Jason, the last movie, Tommy Jarvis put a rock around his neck and sent him to the bottom of Crystal Lake. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good way to do it. The opening was standard. I mean, it wasn't as cool as the part 6, Jason Lives. Part 6, the opening was the opening credits were the best, with Jason throwing the axe through the or the machete through the eye. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that this time, so no James Bond.
But the cool thing though about the montage, do you know who the narrator was? It was Walt Gorney, the guy that played Crazy Ralph in the first 2 films.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
For part 7?
Yeah, for part 7.
Oh.
Yep. There you go, American Werewolf in Jersey.
Werewolf. All right, werewolves in the house. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, that's yeah. Stay a while, man. For sure. Hi, JJ. How are you?
How's it going?
So we see that they have the opening credits. We see what happens with Jason, and then and we get our opening people in the movie. There's Terry Kaiser. The first thing you notice is Terry Kaiser's in the movie, and he's probably like the biggest name at the time for this movie, because he had he went on to do Weekend at Bernie's, and he was a name even before that. He was a name. Yeah. And so it was good to see, and they had said that they were going to try to make this movie a little bit more of a, wasn't just going to be just like a slash and dash. They're going to try to put some quality into it, as far as production value, as far as story goes. They upped the budget too. They upped the budget to almost $3 million, which was at the time the highest they spent on a movie. So, and they got a director, John Buechler, who had a really good track record. Yep. And you could definitely tell this movie had a little bit more. It definitely had a little bit more oomph on the ball as far as the quality goes. What do you think about that, Al?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you can see John Carl Buechler's touch on like everything in this movie, and because he's a makeup guy, so like the makeup in this movie is incredible, and just every little thing. And I think he was a great director of this, and I actually wish he would have done a few more of these.
Yeah, I think at this point in the time, I mean, people could, at this point in time, but I definitely think this is probably the best directed film.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Star-Lord saw Terry Kaiser at on a panel.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, he seemed like a pretty cool dude, actually.
I guess that's when we get to meet Tina.
Little Tina.
Yeah. Yep. Little Tina.
Who looked like Heather O'Rourke. Did anybody notice that?
Oh yeah. Oh, right off the bat.
Oh my God.
It was sort of spooky, wasn't it?
It really was. In fact, Vanessa was like, "Wait, is that Heather O'Rourke?" I was like, "No, can't be." So I looked it up to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, she did a really nice job. That young actress who played I mean, she really was strong. And then we see the beginning of the movie, how we get to meet Tina and how she came to be, and I love the flashback. It has so much more. It has so much more on the ball. They gave it time to establish the story. She sees her parents fighting. She gets scared. She runs away. That's generally what all kids will do. And then she runs to the lake, and she gets in the boat and she paddles out to the away from there because she doesn't want to be around it. Mm-hmm. And then her parents realize that they scared their little girl, and the dad, I think they were just yelling at each other. They didn't show anything inside the house because she was standing outside listening in. So we didn't really see if there's any physical, which I don't think there was.
I think they mention it in one of the scenes. That he did slap her around. Yeah, I think like it's very, very short little sentence here. That's it.
And then the dad comes out. He comes out, and so does the mom. They come out together, and then gets on the dock, and the little girl was so upset that things start to happen. What do you think about that, Keith?
Well, first of all, you notice that this is something that she's definitely used to. This is something that she's definitely experienced. She's not new with this.
Yeah.
You know, and at this point, they're taking a vacation on the lake, and she's still, you know what I mean? She's still immediately found a place to go run and hide. She just wanted to get as far from the place as she could get. And unfortunately, it follows her out. And then that's when, you know, that's when she has to deal with it, whether she wants to or not. And at that point in her age, I kind of get the idea that she's not exactly in control of her emotions yet, of course. So she ends up, you know, dropping her dad, and when she really probably didn't want to, even though she wanted, you know, to stop. So,
Right. Exactly. And I thought the effect too was nice of it shaking and everything and him falling. I thought all the stunt work in this movie is probably the best too out of all of Jason movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, she didn't realize, you know, and obviously the parents didn't realize what she was doing, and we don't know if this is the first time she manifested her power or not, you know. And so I mean, it just was surprising to see it. I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't know what to expect, and they say no, you know, they're shaking the you know, they're shaking it. That, you know, there's wow, we're like, oh, she's telekinetic. That's really interesting, and I really liked it, and then they showed her inadvertently killing her dad. You know, you're right. I don't think she meant to do it. It was totally an accident. But, you know, she's just, you know, she couldn't control it. You know, she was very emotional, and you know, and she was trying to get her parents to stop fighting. Is really what she was doing. And so yeah, and she kills her dad, and off she goes down a hard path. She goes to a hospital, and then that's when they go ahead and they, you know, they have her. We see her backstory, and then so, you know, we see her coming with her mother and the doctor. What was your first impression of the? Oh no, there was just the mother and the daughter. I'm sorry, it was Tina and her mom were coming into the house. That's right. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first impression of the relationship between mom and daughter?
I mean, it seemed okay to me. It didn't. Nothing really stood out personally to me. But yeah, they were. I mean, unless you noticed something different, I don't know. But it seemed fairly standard. But I will comment on the mom's dark helmet hair.
Oh,
She looks like Dark Helmet.
that was 80s hair.
That was great. I was like, oh my gosh, this lady needs a nice little haircut.
Yeah, that was definitely the look of the time.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just too funny.
I wonder how much hairspray that went into that.
I can't even imagine.
And you know, another thing too, I appreciated too, was they seemed to be very much age related. You know, it didn't, you know, you could see them as a mother and daughter, not just as just, you know, we'll cast her as a mom and cast her as a daughter, but they actually looked like mother and daughter.
They did.
Nice touch. Yeah, nice touch.
Yeah.
So they go to Camp Crystal Lake, and that's where Tina is. This is supposed to be Tina's like last chance at a normal life, because up to that time she's been hospitalized for years, and Dr. Cruz, who's played by Terry Kaiser, is going to try to help her out, you know, to stay away from that, you know, to face her again. Of the common theme is like face your fears, and then and you know, and help her out, and to help her get out of the hospital. Yeah. Of course, you know that he has an ulterior motive too. So they roll up to the house, and what do we see next door?
What else would we see next door in the Friday the 13th movie? But a bunch of kids. hanging out in the other cabin across the way. Shocker, I know.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I was like, what's going to be there? You know, are they going to have like it's going to be like a Boy Scout troop? Is it going to be like some old guys watching football? Or, no,
Nope.
it's our young cast of young stars.
Of young Victor stars, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
Gore, what did you think of our cast of victims? I mean, our guest stars. Were you impressed by what you saw, or did they look like worthy? What's the word I'm looking for? Bait.
Worthy, I don't know. Yeah, worthy group in the house next door. Well, the first thing I noticed was, I mean, they looked all right, you know what I mean? But I quickly figured out that this was probably the most unlikable group of young people in the Friday 13th franchise so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were very, very unpleasant, and they, I don't know, they kind of seem to be a house full of antagonists besides maybe two or three.
Yeah. I mean, they did establish the, they're instantly making fun of Tina. She's getting out of her car. They were just, except for one guy, Nick, but the rest of them were just sitting there watching her, making snide comments. The rich girl, Melissa, being the foremost of that. It's obvious that Tina and her mom have, they don't have a lot going for them as far as, they look poor. They didn't, the cars beat up, their suitcases and stuff weren't the best. You could definitely tell that they've had a really hard time. And she pulls out her suitcase and it breaks, and all her clothes and stuff scatter. And then nobody offers to help her except for Nick. He instantly, he doesn't even think twice. He just instantly goes over and helps her out. I thought that was a really nice touch too. And it definitely made Nick, instantly you're thinking, this is gonna be a good guy right here. And and I'm glad they played it straight too. Like it's not just so much being a nice guy until he wants what he wants. No, he was generally a nice guy in this movie.
Yeah,
totally. And then and also it also made him stand out from the pack too, like, and which was evident a few scenes later when he's like, these are not my friends, kind of thing.
Right.
So, you immediately knew, that he wasn't like the rest of them.
Let's see, we're having some guys in the chat here. Let's catch up with the chat. Let's see. So little Tina is the crazy little girl. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. All right.
Might be a little bit older, Cal.
Let's see. That is okay. I don't know what that one is. Let's see. You have to. I don't. Mr. Bones is like. Gosh, my eyes are.
If you don't hit them, they don't bleed. They don't bleed. You can't feed Grandpa. It's a Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, okay. That's right. All right. So, yep. Mom's hair is a hot mess. It's an accident for sure.
Dark Prism's here.
That's a take. Yeah. Let's see. Hobbs is mentioning Bumpy Uglies. Yeah, they did that right off the bat too. They established that right off the bat. The new kids on the chop block. Star-Lord with the line of the night so far.
Yeah. That's
Cal mentioning Doctor is terrible. Fun fact: Doctor is the same guy in Child's Play 2 that plays Phil. Yeah, he played Weekend at Bernie's too. He's funny in that, and that's another good acting job without saying a word. Let's see.
Very true.
Yep. Oh, here it is. Eccles mentioning it about Weekend at Bernie's. Hey, Dark Prism, how are you? Welcome back, sir. Let's see. Also, the bunch of not all friends just brought together by a common friends party. Yeah, birthday party. Nick's cousin, I think it was.
His cousin,
yeah. Yeah. Yep. So we see the young kids. We see the mom and the daughter go inside the house. Wow, it sounded like last show. They see Tina and her mom go in the house, and then we meet Dr. Cruz. Dr. Cruz seems to be like a professional.
At
He's
first.
well dressed. He's well spoken. He's respectful initially. He's respectful to Tina's mother. And then when we find out very, very shortly that he is not what he appears to be. And now take it away.
So the very first thing that Dr. Cruz does is he gets a matchbox and he places it on the desk and he tries to get Tina to move it with her mind. But he does it in such a way that you can tell what an asshole this guy is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like immediately, you just like, oh my god. And so she's like, I can't do it, blah 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 blah. So he starts getting her riled up, and so when she gets riled up, that's when she can use her powers. So of course he gets her riled up. So yeah, of course the thing's gonna move. And eventually she says a really interesting line that I thought this is not the exact quote, but she says something like, "You're more interested in my powers than me," and that just kind of tells it all right there. It's like, all right, they're just blatantly laying it all out right there for you.
Yeah, and you think about that. I mean, what did you think about that, Gore? Do you think that did you get the sense right off the bat that the doctor was up to no good?
Pretty quickly, yeah. And what I find interesting is that her mom seems to be totally on board with this doctor, yet she noticed it. Of course, she probably spent more time with him. But with the adult mind, it seems like as long as she's been seeing this doctor, the mom would have been able to pick up on something. But I don't know. At the same time, maybe she's in a little bit of denial. She's just trying to help her daughter, maybe. Yeah. It's kind of hard to call early like this because the first thing I noticed, I went and seen this at the theater. I seen the first 8 Friday 13th at the theater. So I was still young when this one came out and I seen it at the theater. And my first impression of him is I've seen this guy in a lot of shows and in every one of them, he's a bad guy. So therefore I knew he was probably a bad guy. So I already had, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, most of the time he definitely played a heavy. I initially, the thing that got me when I first saw the scene was like, being a comic book fan as I am, I'm going like, is she a mutant? Is she like, because is she like is she like Jean Grey? She's a telekinetic. And it's like, okay, is she mutated? How does she get her powers? That's the first thing that came to my mind was like, wow, that's so cool. But how does she do it? Does she drink a bad protein drink? Does she have was there a radiated cow? Who knows? And I wish they would explain where they came from.
Yeah, they never did. They
No.
they never explain where she gets her powers from.
Usually,
and I agree with you. I think Gore. I think you make a great point too, Gore. I think you make a great point. Like, you think the doctor, you think the mom would have picked up on that. Like the tension between her daughter and the doctor.
Right. It's like the treatment came to a standstill. So then, what better way would there be than to come up with an excuse to get her back where that happened to her father to maybe get a little further progression out of him? You know what I mean? It's like during her in the hospital, she stopped growing to his liking anyway. So he figures, hey, I'll take her here, and it'll be easy to convince her mom of this since that's where this happened. But he's not doing it for the reason he says he's doing it. You know what I mean? So that's actually pretty smart writing. And it would be very smart for the doctor, like say if this really happened, it'd be really smart for the doctor because the mom just wants to help her. So of course she's going to go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor seemed to be like, I think the simple fact that they brought him out there just by himself. There was no nurse, there's no assistant. you definitely get the idea that he was in it, and he wasn't in it for the good thing, but he was looking to exploit it. He was looking to harness it to profit off of it, and that was really
there by
clear.
themselves. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that was real clear once you realized it was just him in the house. It was like, wow, you would think that you would have other people to help you with this. And then he provokes her. He figures out that if I can make her angry enough, like she'll hulk out a little bit. She'll react out of anger, and that's exactly what happens. He goads her into it, even though she has no control over it. She could have brought the whole damn house down on them both, because he has no idea of what she's capable of.
Right.
So we definitely see Tina is really she's about 16 or 17. She's really unhappy. She wants to be normal. She wants to, but she's also very traumatized. She reminded me a lot of Tommy Jarvis in a lot of ways.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
About the same age from part 5, yeah, approximately.
Supposedly, even though the actor was like 27 or something.
I don't know how old Lar Park Lincoln was at the time that she did the show.
I actually know she was 26 when she did this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's good.
Now she was not the original person that John Buechler wanted to cast.
Really?
As Tina. I forgot the name of the girl that he wanted to cast, but because she was I think 19 at the time, but she had signed on to do Phantasm 2, I think it was. So she did that instead of this movie.
I wonder if it was the girl, the lavender girl.
It might be. I don't. Like I said, I didn't write her name down, but yeah, I did see that somewhere.
So then we you want to go ahead and take us down to the next part, Al?
All right. So Tina gets frustrated and runs outside to the pier where all the dad stuff happened, like 10 years before, or 7 years before, I think. Anyway, so she goes out to the pier, and then she basically closes her eyes, and she kind of starts to wish her dad back, right? Mm-hmm. So since she can move stuff and all this other stuff, she's like, well, why not just bring him back? He's still in the lake, right? Kind of thing. So she does that, and of course, instead of waking up her father, she wakes up our good pal, Mr. Voorhees.
Yay, our hero.
Yeah, so Jason's still on, still he's hanging there, and all of a sudden he just kind of goes boom, and he's like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah, you saw his eye.
I do believe they said it'd been 7 years since I do believe they said it'd been 7 years since he'd been put in there.
Yeah,
like as in movie time frame, I think they said 7-year time frame.
Yeah.
And again, you're right. When he wakes up, and then he's obviously still trapped down there. He can't do anything about it. But of course, Tina is displaying a tremendous amount of power to rise him up. I mean, he's already, think about it. He's 250 pounds. He's dead weight. He's got that rock and that chain around him. So he's looking at least, you're looking at 350 plus through the water to bring him up through the water. She's exhibiting more power there than, honestly, she displayed more power there than she did in the rest of the movie, other than in the first scene. But you're right. Jason comes up, and it's really weird. It's like how she broke the chain too. So he comes up, and what's really interesting about this, what I thought was fascinating, was the fact that he comes up, he sees her, she sees him, and her, but she passes out, and he leaves her alone. He had no interest in her. Yeah, it was different. It was just like, oh, good night, Charles. Catch you on the replay. And so she passes out on the dock, and then Jason goes on his merry way. I mean, he didn't even bother coming over there to look at her or, do anything. He was just like, okay. And then he just walked out of the lake.
Maybe that was like a thanks for bringing me back. I'm not going to kill you yet. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't confirmed that he even really seen her in particular. You know
It's
what
true.
I mean?
Yeah.
She just brought him back. Maybe he just, maybe he was just, getting his bearings back.
And then we see the makeup. I think Gory, you mentioned the makeup, the best makeup, and we definitely see that right then because they showed Jason walking out of the lake, and it definitely looks like he's been under the water for 7 years because his whole body's just like all the flesh is eaten away. We're starting to see him skeletonize. Another 7 years, that's probably what we would have gotten. We would have gotten just maybe the head, but the rest of the body would have probably been a skeleton. And
and you get the audio too. You can hear him like waterlogged. You can hear a squishing sound when he's moving around, which is really cool effect.
It is.
Yeah.
It was a good scene where he walked out of the water. I mean, the whole spine, it looked awesome. Go ahead.
So Vanessa said, didn't Tina think she'd need the body of her father? Well, did they ever find his body? I don't think they ever did.
Which is sort of interesting because you knew where he fell. Right. I mean, it wasn't like they were out in the middle of the damn lake. They were just right off the pier. And it showed that when he fell in, the dock fell in on him. You would think that whenever, I think they did recover the body because we'll come up to that, but I do think they recovered it. I just think she manifested something else. I mean, maybe she called out to him psychically or whatever, because the body is right there. I mean, you could just in what, 10 feet of water, 6 feet of water, not very much. Yeah. And he's down on the bottom of the lake. I mean, maybe a little bit deeper than that, but you knew where he was at. It wouldn't take very much for a diver to go down there and get him.
Right. Right.
Yeah. See, Vanessa's right. See, the lake wasn't that deep.
Yeah, it's really not that deep. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vanessa. Yeah, it wasn't it's sort of that part is sort of inconsistent, but we'll get to that.
Because if she hadn't been in the hospital for what happened, we wouldn't even really know as observers whether there was a confirmation of whether they even turned it in that she put her dad in the lake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That right there could explain it. If she hadn't been put in the hospital, we could confirm that she'd done that and her mom just didn't, didn't call the police or anything, and then they just left since she was put in the hospital. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe a bit of a plot hole, plot hole in there.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why she felt like wow, why do you need to bring your father up from the lake? He's been dead all that time. What do you expect to happen? I mean, he's gonna be looking like fish food, if he was still down there. It was just like he definitely could see where she definitely wasn't all there. I mean, she had those thoughts. She, even before she got to the lake, you could definitely tell that Tina was not all there anyway. I'm going to get my daddy from the lake. Okay, you go right ahead and do that. I'm going to go get this jacket over here. And let's see. Yeah, who mentioned about the PD? Oh, Echo. Crystal Lake PD, too lazy. Man, we've already seen how bad the cops are around Crystal Lake.
Oh, man. I wouldn't want to live in that area and have some trouble happening.
Only like one or two,
Man, I think I'd rather have the Keystone Cops patrol my neighborhood than the
right.
In part 6, there was a sheriff, and then there's his goofy deputy that ended up in the cell. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Those cops are out.
That's all the budget allows. That's all the budget allows is one old sheriff and a goofy, sidekick.
Hey, you know what? It worked for Andy Griffith.
Yeah, but in Crystal Lake, it's 1.5 Barneys.
Yeah. That's about right.
All right, so now we got now that Jason's out and about, it's not too much further before we see his first victims. Who wants to walk us through our first victims?
You want it, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead, Al. I'm playing the color guy, man.
All right, I got you. All right, so then we meet Michael and Jane, and they are driving in a vehicle, just like I don't know, every movie there's somebody driving in a vehicle in the middle of this area, and and of course they break down, and this is where we find out that it is actually Michael's birthday, and they are heading to like a party at the cabin across the way from Tina and them. And we also find out that Nick, the nice guy that was over there, is Michael's cousin. So Michael goes off to go pee, and all of a sudden, our friendly neighborhood Jason pops up with a tent peg, a gigantic tent peg, and Jane just gets it. I mean, it's like immediate. You see Jason, boom, that's it. You did.
Yeah. She just had no chance at all. Didn't hear it. Yep.
It was extremely quick. And then Jason turns around, and here comes Michael back from peeing. So he just throws the tent peg at him and gets him. So we got 2-for-1 deal already.
Yeah, well, he had pinned the girl to the tree, and then Michael comes and sees it, and then he turned around and he runs. And he had the right idea, except that he just ran too straight. And then Jason just lines him up, and he does his own telekinetic ability. He tosses that tent spike pretty long way. It was a pretty good shot. And then he's not dead yet. He walks over there and grabs him up and does the Halloween tube lift. Picks him up with it and sticking it in his back. And that's the end of the first two.
That guy suffers a lot in horror movies. You notice that's the guy that played the little brother in Pumpkinhead. His name is William Butler. He played the little brother in Pumpkinhead, and he was also in the remake of Night of the Living Dead. And he always has a rough time. He never lasts extremely long.
That was quite a shock. You know, it was like right off the bat. I mean, we didn't even get a chance to even know these people at all. It's just like it was just so random. It was like, okay, they're on their way to the party and whatnot. Next thing you know, they stop. They have no idea. We have no idea really who they are at first. And they get killed, but somebody notices it. Tina, she has a vision of that happening, and that freaks her out. Well, she goes. Well, they find Tina on the dock, and they bring her inside the house, and she's telling them what she saw. She saw somebody in the lake, and then she saw the murders. And she's trying to tell her mom and convince the doctors of what she saw, but they're not really going into it. They're not really believing her.
Yeah, pretty much, Drake. Yeah, that was their purpose.
Yep, they did it well. They went out pretty well.
So I actually want to mention these visions that Tina has in this movie. You noticed they're all it's all of Jason killing someone, and it's more brutal than like the actual deaths. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like she's envisioning something even worse. I don't know.
I don't think so.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a lot more brutal in her visions than it did in real time.
Yeah. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
a little different.
They're not the first. They're the first death, but they're not the last one, because soon after that, let's see, I believe does Tina get invited to the party?
Yes.
She gets invited to the party, Nick invites her to come over and meet the gang. And so she comes over and meets everybody, and they're not all that welcoming to her. I mean, they're okay. Melissa is not very nice. So as she's over there in the party, we meet our next two victims. Gore, you want to take us through that kill?
No, I'm playing Color Man, Patrick. I had
Okay.
a rough day today. I did not get to visualize the show today. I'm going on memory.
Okay. Well, that's when they come across the couple camping, and this is also Kane Hodder's favorite Jason kill. This is the one that actually caused a lot of ruckus. And that is the two people are camping, and Jason goes and he kills the male first, of course.
Very true.
And then he comes over, and the young lady's in the tent. And they pointed out a continuity error. Kane Hodder did in the commentary. He says, "Look at my tent," and the tent is actually a rectangle like this. So it was a little top, and then they cut and they come back around. Next thing you know, it's the regular tent.
Nice.
So it was cool. You know, it was like, okay, it was funny once he pointed that out.
Yeah.
Then he comes in there and he grabs the other girl, and he grabs her in a sleeping bag. And this is the one that Kane Hodder says is his favorite kill. He picks her up and he hits her against a tree. Now, there actually was a stunt woman in the bag. I mean, you know, as far as that goes, he actually had to lift up a woman with, you know, but not obviously hit her, but he had to lift her up. And when he was talking about doing that stunt, they had made that bag about 90 pounds, 90 plus pounds. There was the stunt person plus all the blood. Initially, that was going to be a lot more bloody. And this is the one kill that John Buechler had to fight for the most, but he didn't get it. And that was the tent scene and the sleeping bag scene. And but he said that when he did it, the bag was so heavy, and he had to do it like 3 or 4 times, and it was slipping through his hands. It was cold, it was wet, and he said that Kane Hodder said that he was getting angry. He was actually physically getting angry, and you could see that. You could see that in his motions. It wasn't just like brain dead Jason. You know, there was some feeling, there was some heat in that swing. And of course, they only did the one.
Man.
Yeah, there was only the one shot. I mean, that's, you know, it's been done since then, including once in Jason X. But that's the most famous. Probably, I dare say, if we ask for people, most of the time, what's their favorite kill, I think a lot of people will sit there and say it's the sleeping bag scene. And I do believe that this is one of the scenes they brought to the Senate, the Congress's attention, because by that time horror films were actually they were so violent that Congress was going to come in and come in and regulate it, and a lot of it was on that scene right there. They said that was a real violent scene, and people were really concerned about that. And then basically horror films had to start policing themselves. The studios had to start policing themselves.
Yeah. Hey,
Catfish. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Well, they tried that with the music. The PMRC tried that with the music earlier on in the early to mid 80s. It didn't work out that way. So they figured that they would attack the movies instead.
Yeah.
Right. So that was those people didn't have anything to do with the party, though. They were just out there random. They were just having to be, you know, they needed somebody.
Yeah, they were just camping. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost seemed like a pickup shot. Like, okay, we need to go back there and add a couple more kills, because they had no connection to the plot at all.
No.
All right. Walk us through the next part.
All right. So then it cuts to Tina is hanging out with Nick by the lake, and this is where she kind of tells him her story and what's going on. And like he's like, okay, well that's fine. And then you can see there's a spark, and they of course kiss.
Mm-hmm.
and of course there's someone lurking in the background, seeing all of this and hearing the entire story and seeing them kiss, and that is of course that no good so and so Melissa.
Yeah.
She's just kind of lurking around, being nosy because she has the hots for Nick, you see, and Nick wants nothing to do with her.
Right.
That's why she wants him.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are like that. Yeah, freaking weirdos. So, so Melissa goes back to the cabin, and then I don't remember exactly what happens next, but the next thing I have written down is that Tina goes looking for Nick at the cabin. So I don't remember if there was just a cut or something. I don't remember. But and Melissa,
she had the vision. She had the vision of the boy getting killed, of the couple. That's why he went looking for him.
that's the part I forgot to write down. I knew there was something. Okay, so then then it's like the next day or something, and Tina goes back to the cabin with the kids, and Melissa gets one of the guys to pretend he's in a straitjacket, and so she mentions that she's crazy and says she was institutionalized and everything, and so they're teasing her about all of that, and then Tina, of course, gets mad. So what happens when she gets mad? That's when her powers come out. So she's Melissa's wearing this pearl necklace, and so the necklace starts floating, and then it just breaks real quick. And yeah, so that kind of freaks Melissa out a little bit.
Yeah, Melissa she was very prideful. She was very proud of her necklace. You know, they made a point of her saying about how much it costs or whatnot, and then Tina happened to snap it and break it, and you see Melissa all four. She's trying to collect the pearls, and then Tina leaves the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore would have. Yeah, she would have been a great help for the campfire. Only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can prevent fire starters. So that's what happened with Melissa. She was one of those. Like you're already wishing. This is the first movie that you're actually sitting there wishing that people would buy the farm. Before in all these movies, when someone would die, you'd be like, damn, that's messed up. But in this movie, like Gore mentioned, that they're all pretty much unlikable. And so when you seeing them die, as far as that, not the first four, but these people in the house, you don't really have any compassion for them. It's just like, okay, when the doctor dies, yeah, you actually are happy about him. He deserved it. Oh yeah. Oh, spoiler. Okay, but this is the first time the cast is completely unlikable, and you're just waiting for them to get lined up and mowed down. And John Buechler and Kane Hodder, they don't disappoint.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. All right, so after the pearl necklace scene, then it cuts to Tina and Dr. Cruz, and they get into another argument. And this is when she gets mad, and she actually levitates a television and throws it at Dr. Cruz, which when after that happened, my wife was like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," because the whole thing. Yeah, which was just a year before this movie, by the way.
Right.
So
right.
Maybe that was an influence. Who knows?
Well, and the thing is, Tina's, she may be traumatized, but again, like Tommy Jarvis, she may be traumatized, but doesn't mean that she lost her brain. She's still thinking. She knows the doctor's is after her for no good. He knows that he's planning to exploit her. And she doesn't like it. She knows what he's doing to her by manipulating her and pushing her buttons, and she does not like it, and that's the reason why she tossed that TV at his ass.
Yeah, but throwing that TV just excites him even more, though. That's what she's not thinking about.
Yeah, because that's the most the biggest display of power that he's seen her have. So he knows that he's on the right track. He's like, well, shit, if I said this and she sparked a book of matches, and I said that and she tossed the TV, what else can I say to her to get her really going? To
Yeah,
match it even
she's
more.
been a little older and a little bit more mature. She could have played it off like she couldn't get anything happening. But instead, he's able to get to her because she's younger and immature and emotional. She's just playing right into his hand, and so is her mom by working along with him. Because, I don't like the mom exceptionally, but I understand that she just wants to help her daughter and help her daughter get better because she thinks something's mentally wrong with her daughter because this doctor has convinced her of that. Almost convinced Tina of that, but deep down
Almost.
she knows better.
Yeah.
So after the TV's tossed, Tina gets really upset, and then she heads back outside. She gets away from the doctor. The mom comes in. She blows by the mom. She leaves, and she's confused. She doesn't really know what she wants to do or how she to get there. But all she just wants to get out of there. Meanwhile, Jason, a good friend Jason, he's back on the hunt, and we're about to meet our next victims. And who would those be? Al?
Those would be Russell and Sandra. Okay, so um okay, before all that though, the thing that happens is that Tina runs into Nick after arguing with Cruz, and she says that she thinks that Michael is dead, which is the guy they're all waiting for. And let's see. Yeah. So then Russell, in the next scene, Russell and Sandra are a little lovey-dovey couple, and they go skinny dipping. Now they're part of the party, so they're all part of the party. So Sandra jumps in first, and then Russell is taking his good ass time sitting there, taking off one little piece of clothes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's kind of like sitting there about to take off his shirt,
Preppy sweater
or whatever. Yeah, very very preppy. And of course Jason shows up and has an axe in his hand, and
yes.
he just takes a big like golf swing and just hits him right in the face, boom, and knocks him down. It was actually a pretty cool effect, I thought.
It was.
And he just completely slashes his face like wide open, just like my hat just left my head. And then Jason jumps into the water. Well, walks into the water because
Sandra comes
Jason
out
doesn't
there.
swim.
Yeah, Sandra comes out and sees him on the shore, and he's dead. And she starts screaming her lungs out. And here comes Jason back into the water. Notice that he had no compunction about doing that either. You would think after being locked down there for 7 years, you would think that Jason would be looking at that lake like, yeah, not so much. No, get in the water, Jason. Yeah, water and I aren't friends.
Yeah, for
By
sure.
now it's like staying home.
So he jumps in the water and starts chasing Sandra, right?
Yeah, so he goes into the water, and then he just kind of drags Sandra down, and so Sandra supposedly drowns.
Right.
That's how she. So then Jason, in the next scene, hey, that doesn't make any sense. I have Jason walks up to the cabin. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jason kind of walks up to the cabin. He just kind of stares at the window and kind of sees what's going on and kind of walks off. It's pretty funny.
And then Tina, I think by that time doesn't Tina take the car back then, and she, let's see, I'm trying to think if she drives off by that time. I think she takes the car. She drives off. am I getting ahead of myself?
Isn't that close to where when they find the spikes stuck in the porch, the spike
Right.
that Michael had been killed with?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She finds this. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. So she finds the. Yeah, Tina finds the spike, that wedged into the pillar, and she sees it there, and then she goes inside. She tells her mom and Dr. Cruz about it, and then it's the same spike that she saw that Michael getting killed with, and so she's trying to tell them that, and then when they go out to see it, that it's no longer there. The spike is gone. The damage to the wood is there, but that could have been from anything. So obviously, Dr. Cruz is trying to gaslight her. He's trying to drive her crazy. Snap.
But I like how they don't tell you that. They don't let you know that yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't let you know that the doctor has taken it out. He's just kind of looking funny. He's just kind of looking around,
He's
almost as if,
shady, but
what is she talking about? What he's really looking funny, looking around about is how in the hell did that get in there to begin with?
yeah, he's shady, but we don't really get an idea exactly how shady he is yet. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
We know that he's up to no good, but
What I'm saying is he's wondering how in the hell it got in there to begin with. Because remember, even though we don't know he pulled it out, we find out later that he did. So we come to find out that look on his face was he's wondering who in the hell stabbed that in there.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I thought it was him at first, but it didn't. It wasn't him. He did pull it out. He found it, but he pulled it out and he hid it instead of sitting there going like, you're right. This did happen. I think the doctor thought that she did it herself.
I maybe he was kind of curious because he knows she's not as crazy as he's trying to make her believe she is. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So I think he knows that she didn't because she never tries to bring attention to herself. He tries to bring attention to her.
Now you notice too. You think with that of such an unstable patient, especially those manifesting telekinetic abilities, you would think that he would have her on medication. But notice that he never does. He never attempts to even try to give her anything at all. He doesn't want to. He wants her wild and unleashed. He wants to bring that out.
Sometimes that medication can tone down those powers. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's just not a good guy. He's just now one of the people in the group, it's Maddie, and she's actually the reverse of the nerd. Like Crispin Glover played the nerd. The boy in part, and Jason, and the New Beginning, the kid who got killed by the other kid. The nerd, the guy who, the nerd part. Well, in this movie, they had her played by a girl, and that was Maddie. And Maddie is our, she's just a real wallflower, and so she decides that she wants to be part of the fun. She wants to be in with the crowd. So she goes upstairs and she changes her whole look. She looks really cute when she comes out. She goes in there looking homely. She comes out looking really cute. And then she goes, I think she's chasing after Russell.
Yeah, because I do believe it's the Elizabeth Catan character. The character she plays is the one that tells her, hey, pretty much you need to do some touch-up work. And then that's what makes her go up there because they're both after the same guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she goes out, and what happens to Maddie, Al?
Well, she goes out looking for him, and she loses her earring, and so she's on like all fours looking for it. She finally finds it.
Thank God.
And yeah, as soon as she finds it, we have our buddy Jason showing up again, and he comes with a giant sickle, and he takes poor Maddie out.
Yeah, she ran inside the wrong shed. She ran inside the tool shed, and it's like, if all the places you could have run to, that's probably the last place you should have run to. Definitely. And lo and behold, she but they don't really show her death scene. They were going to, but once again, it got cut out. and the ratings people said they couldn't show it. So the
Yeah.
only thing you hear was just her scream.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unfortunately.
so, yep. Okay, so Maddie's gone. Russell's gone. Sandra's gone. So now we got. Let's see. Now we got. That's where Tina leaves. I think that's when Tina leaves after this encounter. She leaves and she drives away, and then the mother starts doing some investigating on her own, and she finds out that the good doctor has really been playing them all along. She's starting to believe what her daughter has been telling her. The doctor's room was unlocked, and he left all the evidence right there in front on the desk. And so the mom sits down and she reads what's going on, and she realizes that the doctor is not to be trusted at all on any level.
Yeah. There's a scene. Where is it?
Finds the spike, doesn't she?
Yeah. So
Yes,
so this yeah. So right before all the Maddie stuff happens, Cruz actually like goes for a walk, and he sees Michael's dead body in the tree with the tent peg sticking out of him. And then that's when Mom goes into Cruz's office and kind of starts digging around, and she finds that spike that Tina was talking about earlier inside of Cruz's like the desk drawer. And she also sees a VHS tape, which she pops in, and she sees basically how Cruz is with Tina on this tape. And so that's when Mom confronts Cruz, and she's like, "You're using her to perform, basically." And then that's when Tina runs away in the car. And then when she runs away in the car, she suddenly stops and she has another vision. And this is actually probably the most interesting vision, because she sees her mother dying at the hands of Jason, and he's just kind of like holding her up, and like, yeah, it's a really cool image. And that's when she crashes off like into the bushes.
She passed and when she drove by, she passed Michael's car too. Did you notice that? It was off to the side of the road.
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah. So she drove past his car, and then she saw that vision, and then she crashed the car into the. Not too bad. I mean, I think she probably could have got out of it if she wouldn't have panicked. But she crashed the car, and then she got out of the house, and then surprisingly, and I couldn't understand this too, but instead of reversing her tracks down the road back to her house, remember, this is the first time she's ever been there. As an adult, I mean, as a kid, I don't think she was out there playing by herself, but she runs back into the woods. She has no idea. She's not even going back toward her house. She would have got the house, she got on the road, ran down the road, she go back, but instead she runs to the side, and it was just like, wow, I didn't expect that. I thought she would have went down the road, but I guess she felt she could find her way home that way.
Yep. Right. So then Cruz and the mom like reluctantly go together to go looking for Tina.
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting that they would both go looking for her, like so kind of easily.
The mom goes to keep an eye on him, I think.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe so. Keep an eye on each other.
Mom's an idiot. Thoughts? Yeah.
She is an idiot. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Times two.
Drake says she's so gullible she will believe anything. She would believe you could breathe water.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the next scene we cut to Ben and Kate getting it on in the van outside of the house.
Yep.
And it's this was actually, I thought this was actually a pretty funny scene. And then they hear like a knock, or they hear something, and then so Ben like gets out of the van, and he thinks it's Michael, who's the birthday boy that they're all still waiting for. Only nobody knows he's dead.
Gee, I wonder where he's at. Like, gee, I wonder where he's at. They don't even really seem to be like worried.
Yeah,
nobody.
His cousin did, but everybody else is just like, oh, he'll get here eventually. Like,
yeah, whatever. Let's just drink, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. So Ben gets out the van, and Jason grabs him, and basically just crushes his head in, just like it's I was like, oh, that can't be a
Kane
good way.
Hodder has some huge hands. Let me tell you.
He really does, man. This
His hands are ham hocks.
Yeah. So then Kate, looks out the car window, and then she gets one of the party horns pushed into her left eye. Just.
I thought he stuck it in her mouth.
No, it was her left eye. Yeah. It was her left
I know.
eye.
I know. It made a noise when he did it.
Yeah, it was like, and it was pretty funny. So poor Ben and Kate, they were just trying to have a good time, man. You know
you can't do that in a Friday the 13th movie.
Everybody's always trying to have a good time at Friday the 13th. It just never works out. Or it might work out for a little bit. The more it works out for you, the bigger problem you're going to have after.
The only time that ever really paid off for anybody, though, was for Crispin Glover. I mean, at least he got to consummate his thing,
He did.
before he bought the farm. I mean,
Don't forget about the hammock in part 3. Things were going very well there with them. He was working on his hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the two that get speared through in the bed, and Jeff and Sandra in part 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were finished though.
Oh, they had been going on for a few minutes.
I was just thinking,
they were starting over.
Oh, is that what?
They were giving the nice little lovey smooches, the afterward lovey smooches even. So they were getting ready to go again.
They need to do they need to do like a sister site to Pornhub called Stab Hub or something like that.
Yeah, so there you go. Head crushing is Jason's ASMR hobby. I like that, Star-Lord. That's good, man.
I kind of want to see.
Person wants to see a lake pollution infomercial starring Jason.
Yeah, he's polluting enough lakes.
That would be great. I'd love to see that too.
Okay, so the two lovers in the van bought the farm.
They buy the farm, and then so the next scene we go to Melissa, our lovely antagonist here. And she's hanging out with a guy named Eddie, which is the guy that she used to turn around to do the straitjacket gag earlier.
Right.
And so we find out that she's kind of been leading him on, and so he gets upset and he hightails it out. And then we cut to Jason pulling the power cables to the cabin.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is I think he does this in every movie.
He does. I think so.
I think every movie he's done this.
And it started thundering too, thunder and lightning too.
Yes, and I was just about to say, and the rain is starting to come back. Another common motif here.
Right. Yeah. That's cryptic. That is to insinuate that Jason is a force of nature. That's why they do that in every one of them.
Well, they did it in the first movie too, and he wasn't around then.
Yeah, but his mom was. She was a force of nature.
Actually, the first movie I think had the heaviest rainfall of them all. To tell you the truth.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Al.
So then we cut to Nick and Tina, kind of walking away from everything, and they run into Michael's dead body hanging in the tree. that the
Right.
doctor saw earlier. Then we cut back to the team's cabin, and now we have David and Robin just had a good time, and so David gets hungry, so he goes to the kitchen, and to me this was the coolest shot in the whole movie.
I agree.
The angle's up high, okay, and it's kind of in the corner, and so you see, what's his name, David. You see David walk in, and it's dark, because it's nighttime, and you see the thunder and lightning happening behind him through the window, and in the corner, if you look, there's Kane Hodder as Jason standing completely still and stoic,
That was
like a
a
statue.
wicked shot. That was a wicked shot.
That was an awesome shot, and he's just standing there looking all badass, just like he does. And it was, I love that shot. I think that's my favorite shot the whole movie.
Notice he wasn't sitting. They didn't have him on the ceiling. Looking down on the site. Looking down. Like in another movie. They actually had him on the ground. I mean, it was like. I mean, you had to go back. You had to go back to really go back and see it. But it was so cool how they did it, and they didn't dwell on him. They were just like, nope. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't.
You didn't. Yeah. But for those who saw it, it was awesome. Yeah. And then so of course David goes to the fridge. He opens it up, turns around, and gets stabbed by our hero Jason.
By our hero.
Yep.
That was actually, they said it was like one of the few. They were like commenting about Michael. Jason actually used a Michael Myers knife for that kill, and I was like, yeah, it's the only time he used it in the movie, but it did look like a knife that Michael Myers would use.
That was a replacement kill, yeah.
Yeah, they said they had to make that knife out of cardboard, but that thing was still pretty wicked. They mentioned it in the commentary. So yeah, so he got killed getting the last meal.
Yep. Getting his after party meal. Yeah.
And you're right. And then he proceeds to head upstairs.
Yeah. So now we see Tina and Nick get back to her cabin, and she finds an article in Pruse's desk about Jason.
Right.
So this is kind of similar to when Tommy in part 4 found the little articles. So I thought that was interesting. That's a nice little callback, I thought. Let's see.
Tina and Tommy had a lot in common.
Which I'm realizing this the more we talk about it. They really did. And then so she finds these articles about Jason, and then she finally realizes that is what she brought back from the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually the first time in the movie, besides the opening montage of the recap of the other ones, is the first time you actually hear Jason's name in the entire movie, and it's 58 minutes into the movie. And so in the next scene, we go to Eddie, which is another one of the kids, and he starts opening all the presents because he's like, well, this asshole's not showing up, so I'm going to take all of his presents.
Yeah.
And since Michael never showed up, he's like, well, whatever. So, of course, he's standing there, and Jason just kind of walks up behind him.
Yep.
And stabs him in the neck with the machete. So that's another one down. And then we cut to Robin. Yeah, Robin, I believe. She goes looking for Maddie, the nerdy girl that got off a little while ago. And here's our cat jump scare. The cat jumps out of the closet.
That's right.
And of course, all the thunder's going and everything. And
talked to the cat for a while. I think if she would have held the cat on a little bit longer, she might have been saved. She might, because Jason doesn't do animals. He doesn't harm them. We never seen him harm. He's had opportunity, but he doesn't do it. That's interesting. We said this jokingly, but I wish they would have explored that just a little bit more. I mean, because it's almost sort of like I don't want to say weakness, but it's something that's really interesting. Like he didn't go after those little kids. He left the little kids alone in part 6, and he's never harmed an animal.
Yeah, just teens and adults.
Right, right.
Yeah, so people that can actually technically fight back. Yeah,
there hasn't been a lot of animals in the series, though. Really, I mean, when you think about it, there's not been a lot of dogs or cats or anything, as far as domestic animals, rather than.
I think it's reverse to that, Al. I think he attacks people who can't fight back. It's not like because I mean Alice's cat was staring straight at his ass, and he was like, "Nope, don't want none of that," and then he left. So I don't know. It's something. It's just, I mean, it's a little sliver off, but it's something I would like to see something to explore. Like, it would be something to explore. Like, why is he, because he's superhuman, right? He has no conscience at all. He's just dead. Yet he still has the same values. He did that. He did it in 6. He didn't kill the kids. Like, and he's dead. He has no soul. He's what's to stop him from doing that? But he didn't. And the same thing with the animals. It's like, there's nothing holding him back. He has no center. But they didn't show him doing that. It was just interesting.
Yeah. Hey Ben, what's going on, buddy? So okay, so Robin is Robin's upstairs, and Jason appears, like he does, and he just takes her and throws her out of the window. He's like, "But get out of my way!" And he just hightails her right out that window. Again, another stunt that's pretty well done, even though you can tell it's a guy coming out of the window.
Actually, it's not. Kane Hodder and John Buechler said that was not a man. That was actually a woman, a stunt woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very manly stunt woman.
Yeah, she was very strong. I mean, yeah, they commented on that people said that, but no, that was a stunt woman.
Interesting. Okay. So then we cut to Nick. He goes back to the teens' cabin, and Jason is now wandering the woods because he killed everybody in the house. So
yeah.
So he got bored and he left. Hey, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now, so Jason's wandering the woods, and now we see Dr. Cruz and Mom also in the woods. Okay. And her Mom and Cruz kind of have another argument, and she slaps him. And then Jason shows up. Shocker, I know.
Right.
And then starts going after them.
Right.
And then I believe the good doctor.
Jason gets around him. He's running after him, but he gets in front of him.
Well, the other thing I like about Kane Hodder's Jason, he's fast, but he's not. He never runs. He's just boom. He's like a machine.
Yeah.
Like boom, 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 and it's just, and he just catches up with everybody. Which I don't know. I like that. I don't know, something about it I like.
Right.
So anyway, Cruz basically pushes the mom into Jason. And gets put. Mom is now no more.
Yeah, bye, Mom.
Mom and her dark helmet hair is no longer.
You think if she would have bent down, do you think his blade would have bounced off her hair?
From all the hairspray, probably. Yeah. Just boom.
Yeah.
So after he gets Mom, Jason goes after Dr. Cruz. And in probably in one of the two most satisfying deaths in the movie,
Yes.
Cruz gets disemboweled with a tree trimming saw. Jason comes out with this giant tree saw, and it's awesome. It's awesome. This is one of the best kills in the movie, I thought.
Yeah, I remember everybody cheering when Dr. Cruz went bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was one definitely a thank goodness moment in this movie. So then let's see. So now Tina shows up and she sees her mom dead.
Yeah.
And all the others. And now is the big stare down between her and Jason.
Yep.
And
probably the first time in the series of well, no, maybe yeah. Whereas they went after him. I mean, Tina went after Jason. She didn't, she had a choice. She could have left the other way, but she decided that, fuck this guy. This guy killed my mom. I got some abilities. Let's go say hi to him. So that's what she did.
Yeah.
She came around the corner, and Jason's sitting there, and he's expecting, he's standing there looking down, and Tina comes around the corner, and they stare down like an Old West showdown. And Jason's expecting everybody to run from him. And I think he's perplexed by the simple fact that this girl is not. And she's not running away, she's running toward him, getting closer. And then all of a sudden, she just cuts loose. Tina cuts loose. She uses her ability, her telekinetics, to grab Jason in branches and vines. And then she raises up there and grabs a power line, and she shocks his ass. And if he had been alive, he wouldn't have been. His ass would have been fried. Yep. But because now he's dead, it's not really affecting him. But again, it goes back to the water aspect of it, because it's like how lightning is still not hurting him, but water does. It's interesting. I think water is his weakness. But she knocks him down. She walks over there, and she has no reason to believe that this wouldn't be enough. I mean, normally it would be. And so she walks up to him, and then he starts getting up, and she just runs. She realizes, okay, okay, he took that, but I'm just going to keep going. So she runs to the house, and then Jason comes after her, and then inside the house they proceed to have a battle, and she gets the best of him. And pretty much in this whole movie, she does. Whenever they went nose to nose, she stops him. Either literally with a living room couch, a light, the damn house.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this is probably the best fight in any of these movies
up to this point.
I don't know. That's kind of arguable. I don't know, because this fight's pretty epic.
Jason X is still more epic.
So yeah, she literally throws a sofa at him, and right after the sofa, the one that got me to chuckle was the plant that she threw at him with her mind.
Right.
Because it had one of the kids' heads in it. And so the head went right into Jason's face. I thought that was funny.
There was a lot of humor in this movie too. I mean, this is just strictly, you can definitely tell they're just sitting there having fun. This is a popcorn movie. This is, they're having some fun. And it definitely shows.
Yeah.
So maybe she's whacking him around.
Yes, she's whacking him around good. And then she runs outside, and then Jason comes outside, and she drops the awning on top of Jason. Like the whole awning, the whole roof just comes crashing down on him.
It was last time he smashed with the roof, yeah.
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 And then the right after the roof falls down, there's a scene which is a dead homage Carrie.
Okay.
And he busts through. He busts through the roof with the hand, just like the end of Carrie with the brave. I was like, Carrie. It was great. Yeah.
Then Tina goes to the house, and we see our last three survivors. We got Tina, we have Nick, and who's the last survivor?
Our good pal Melissa.
Our good pal Melissa.
Our good pal. That stupid little. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that kill.
So in the next scene, Melissa gets whacked with an axe, pretty much.
Yeah. Opens the door. Yeah. She says. Actually, they did a scene. They commented on the commentary where she's gonna leave. She says, "Well, fuck." She says, "Fuck him and fuck you too." And then she opens the door. And John Buechler said that when she said that line, that's what won her the part during her audition. She improvised that line, and he said he liked it so much that he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna cast her." So that's what actually got her the role, was the last line she said in the movie.
That's interesting.
Yep. She opens the door and she gets whacked, Lizzie Borden style.
Bam. So yeah. So hallelujah. The other hurrah of the deaths here.
That's right.
So now Jason goes after Nick and Tina, and they run upstairs. So Jason starts walking up the stairs.
Why would you run upstairs?
The perfect tool in a horror movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs where I can't get away.
Yeah.
Without breaking my leg jumping out the window.
So Jason starts walking up, and Tina gets, there's a hanging light bulb. So Tina gets that to start swinging, and hits Jason in the face, like in the mask, and this knocks him down, and he falls like a ton of bricks, like straight down, like, and he falls straight through the stairs. Like, he didn't fall down the stairs, he falls through the stairs.
And another time for a fun fact, that when they filmed that scene, they had dummied up the stairs, of course, for Kane Hodder to go through. But when he fell, and the rest of it was real stairs. He missed hitting the real stairs with his head by 6 inches.
Yeah.
When he fell backwards, he missed hitting the real wood by 6 inches. That probably would have been really, really bad.
That would have been pretty awful. Yeah.
Yeah. That probably would have killed him or paralyzed him.
Yeah. At the very least, yeah. So of course this doesn't stop Jason, so he busts out of all the rubble. And so now Tina decides to start squeezing the hockey mask on his head, like into his head. So it's like, and it's getting all bloody and nasty.
Yeah.
And then it breaks off of his head, which was actually kind of a cool effect, I thought.
It really was. I mean, she was using one of his tactics against him.
Yeah.
And crushing the head.
So now she makes a ceiling fan wire, Michael grabs Jason by the throat, and she lifts him up to the ceiling. Another really cool effect.
It really was.
And so he's hanging there like this, and she just drops him, and he drops all the way through the floor into the basement.
Yeah. She fucked him up. Like I said, she fucked him up every 6 ways in this movie.
Big time. Yeah. Yeah. So, but of course, this doesn't stop Jason either. So he pulls her down into the basement. And then she sees some nails on a shelf. So she throws these nails. Now remember, this is all telekinetic, so she's not touching any of this stuff. All this stuff is just flying at Jason. So she throws all these nails at Jason. It's like boom, boom, boom. Another cool little shot. And now I have to find my next page of notes here. So all right. So then after that is one of the other big stunt scenes in the movie. This is where Tina sets Jason on fire on screen, and it's this whole big thing. She has the gasoline come down and everything, and the fire starts, and then it cuts to a shot of Jason, and then Jason catches on fire, and he's on fire for about 40 seconds, and it's still one of the longest burn scenes I think in cinema history. And but I remember Kane Hodder saying that he had so much stuff on him that it wasn't too bad to do, considering. And I thought that was interesting. But yeah, so that burn scene was pretty cool. Jason kind of falls down to the ground, and then Tina and Nick escape. Now, Jason, of course, comes back
again. You think after getting his ass kicked like it was, you think that he probably would have said, this is not fun. This is not fun. I don't like being hit in the face with nails. I don't like being thrown through a stair. I don't really like, I didn't like the electrocution. It got me back in a puddle. I don't like water. You think that he just would have turned around and left the other way, but he's sort of a slow learner, yeah.
Yeah, you think, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, Jason comes back and he throws Tina to the ground. Nick shoots him. And then Nick gets thrown into one of the boats at the pier. Like he just, yeah. So Nick's kind of out of commission. He's not dead. He's just kind of out of commission.
Right.
So now that they're on the pier, they're fighting Jason and Tina. He kind of has her pinned down, and she's doing her little head thing, and all of a sudden somebody pops up out of the water, like through the pier, breaks through the pier, and of course that would be
Daddy,
Tina's papa.
Yep.
Yeah. So the thing that I thought was interesting is that Papa hasn't aged a day.
No, he looked great for 7 years.
Yeah, right. Especially drowning and whatever else happened to him, Yeah, he looked good. No nicks, no.
No, nothing. He had both his eyeballs.
Yeah, it was good. And so he busts through the pier and he grabs Jason's legs and he just kind of pulls Jason down with him.
Yep. Now, do you think he was there in the flesh, or you think he was there spiritually?
I don't know. I could see it either way, because, like I said, I don't think they mention whether or not they found his body. But yeah, so I think theoretically it could go either way. Really.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Gore? Chip in with that. What do you think? Think he was there as a phantom, or you think he was there in real time?
I'm not so sure he was there at all, actually.
You think it was just a figment of her imagination?
No, I just think that it was a pretty bad ending, really. Kind of like the bad ending to Takes Manhattan, when the waste flushes through and all of a sudden he's a kid again. Because the way they had that originally was he was going to come out as a zombie, kind of like how Jason was. But somehow they outvoted that, and he came out looking like he had just taken a swim.
Well, a person just brings up a very interesting point here. He thinks the dad's metaphorical.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I was thinking. Do you think it's just, is he there, is he there spiritually? I mean, I don't think he would have been there physically. I think he was there as a spirit, and was able. I mean, because you know what, you can't sit. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look what they're already doing with the story. I mean, the story is already fantastical. So why not make it a little bit more and make him, make her dad come back as, avenging spirit, I can see that. I mean, it
I
makes
think
sense.
more effective as is, looking like, you know what I mean?
I definitely think it's one of the
'Cause not everybody's
weakest.
going to see it that way. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to see it that way, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think it's one of the weakest Jason kills of the movies. Yeah, I definitely think it's one of the lamest for me.
Star-Lord thinks that the pop took Jason out of the lake, kicked Jason out of the lake because he was tired of having him as a roommate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, especially now that Sandra's in the lake. You know, he
That's
drowned
true.
her, but she's still in the lake. So
Maybe she can come back for one of the sequels.
ah, um, but yeah, I mean, he comes out there and he grabs Jason and takes him down and basically re-puts Jason to where we saw him. He puts the rock back around, puts the chain around his neck, and he puts him back underneath the water. So and of course, now the best part about this whole movie, to me, my favorite moment of the movie, honestly, because he deserved it, but Nick lived. I love that they let the final guy live. I thought it was a nice change.
Yeah, yeah.
It really was. I mean, he still, for the first time, the heroine didn't lose her boyfriend or the romantic interest that did in the movie. And plus, two, they mentioned that Lar Park Lincoln mentioned that they wanted her to come back for part 8, but the reason why she didn't sign on is because they told her that's all they wanted her to sign on, but they hadn't had a script yet. And so she said the reason why she didn't do it was because she didn't want to be killed in the first scene, like in part 2. And so, she's like, unless there's a script, I'm not going to sign on. So, I mean, she definitely loved her character, and her character is definitely one of the top, as far as I'm concerned, definitely one of the top 5 characters in the Jason movie so far. So I can appreciate the fact that, she wouldn't have to come back to get killed just to, make the story. Actually, I think having her come back for a round 2 with her powers more fully developed, that would have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
It really would have.
Yeah.
The immovable object against irresistible force. That would have been a lot of fun.
I mean, they could theoretically still do it now because she's still around, Kane's still around.
Yeah. If they could ever just get that, if they could ever just settle up that lawsuit and let's have some fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
See, yeah, my old brain too, Debbie. I had to rewatch all these again. I hadn't seen them for a long time, so yeah, I had to rewatch them too. But we're going through every movie. This is part 7, and there are 11 movies. So we will be, we're doing this on Sundays from 9 to 11, either on my channel or Al's channel. If someone could drop Al's link down in the chat, that'd be awesome. So Debbie, if you want to go ahead and follow Al Lucard, we'll drop his link down there. And you can come and hang out with us every Sunday. We're on from 9 to 11. Yeah, the lawsuit was settled, but it wasn't settled like friendly. It was very bitter. Both sides won and both sides lost. We are Eastern. I'm Eastern. I think you're what, Central, Al?
I'm Central, yeah.
So, yeah, and Gore is Eastern, I believe. No, you're Eastern, aren't you, Keith?
Yep.
Okay.
Right below you.
Oh yeah, so you're right with us, Debbie. It's 10:43. So yep, and we go on from 9 to 11. Oh, I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah. John Carl Buechler passed away a couple years ago. He sure did.
Oh, okay. So there's Al, I'm sorry. There's Al's channel right there, Debbie. So if you want to give him a follow, and then and then every Sunday. Yep. Plus, he has a lot of good content too.
I got Gore's channel up there too.
Good. Yep. And Keith's up there too. Awesome. Appreciate that.
Well, speaking of John Carl Buechler, did you know he has a cameo in this movie?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He's the fireman that picks up the broken Jason mask at the end of the movie. That's actually John Carl Buechler. That's the director.
He seemed like a really nice guy.
He really did.
All the cast and that's a shame. The cast really liked him. Kane Hodder really liked him. He appreciated the fact that he had worked with John before on another movie, and then John insisted that he play Jason, and he played Jason for the next 3 films. And he is the definitive Jason. There's no argument about that.
No, and I think even if he would have just done this one movie, I still think he would have been the definitive Jason.
I will say Ken Zinger, the one who played him in Jason X, I think he was probably he's probably the second strongest one for sure.
No, Jason X was still Kane.
Was that Kane still? I thought Kane did. Yeah. Oh, that's right, because he wasn't in Jason versus Jason Goes to Hell. Okay, so Ken Kirzinger, he did Jason versus Freddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now Ken Kirzinger has a small part in Manhattan, and we're going to talk about him next week.
That's right.
Yeah. But yep.
Are you ready for that? You're hosting that night.
I am. I'm definitely going to have to rewatch it because that is probably my least watched of all the Jason movies.
Yeah. But I get the hard one, though. I get Jason Goes to Hell. Everybody hates that one.
There's things about it I like. But anyway,
most of the people tell me the best thing they like about Jason Goes to Hell, they said the best part about the movie is the final credits. But yeah, this is part of the the copy I got is part of my the Screen Factory set. You guys can probably look for this on secondary markets, eBay, Amazon or whatnot. Super fun, super packed with information. If you're a Friday the 13th super fan, that's the set to get. It's an amazing set. I dig the hell out of it. They have 2 commentaries on this one. They have John Buechler and Kane Hodder, and then they have John Buechler, Kane Hodder, and Lar Park Lincoln, and really good commentaries. Derek Mears is a good Jason too. Okay, I like that. Look at Echo saying he likes Jason Goes to Hell. I'm digging that. Cal
Derek
says
Mears Derek Mears was a good Jason. I can't stand that movie.
I thought honestly, I have to admit, I had a fanboy moment. Everybody did. They had the fanboy moment when they saw Freddy's hand come up to get the mask.
Oh well, yeah.
That's like one of the most iconic moments in the whole show.
That's the moment of that movie.
You know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
You don't think you saw Jason Goes to Hell? Yeah, that was a different one for sure. That was the second movie where we had no Jason sighting. Jason's only there in spirit.
Sort of. He's there in spirit.
Oh, yeah. 3, right? What? Jason no, Jason was in the first movie, but he wasn't in A New Beginning, and he wasn't in Jason Goes to Hell.
Well, sort of. Jason Goes to Hell.
Sort of. Wow. So this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this one's a good time.
Yeah.
It really is. And of course, Tina is loosely based on Carrie.
Right.
That's why we made all the Carrie references. But of course, they 2 things. If you watch Carrie, Carrie's dead, so that'd be a little difficult to bring her back. and two, it's a completely different studio, so they would have to have worked with somebody else, and back then for sure in the late '80s, that's not happening. So
Yeah, didn't New Line take over the series with 9?
yeah, starting with Jason Goes to Hell, and that is why uh, the glove comes out at the end of 9,
Right.
because it's the same company. So you could finally get the movie everybody wanted.
Man, Jason versus Michael Myers would be a fight I'd love to see.
It would be very there wouldn't be a lot of talking.
No, there'd be no dialogue.
It'd be a silent movie.
It would be. I mean, both, if you think about it, both do have weaknesses. I mean, like I said, I mean, Jason has weakness toward water. I mean, he can't really operate too well in that. Michael, he doesn't like coat hangers. So, I mean, you give him a poke in the eye, you might be able to have a fighting chance. But both would actually be. I would rather see those two go at it more than Freddy versus either one of them, because they're physical. Freddy's supernatural. He's a phantom, but Michael Myers and Jason are physical, so they would actually, I just couldn't see what they would fight against each other about when they're both all about killing.
Well, I actually did see a Michael versus Jason fan film that was actually pretty damn good, and the fight was awesome. I don't know who did it or who filmed it or whatever, but the fight was really good. I'll if I find it again, I'll send it to you. It's actually really interesting. It's only like 10 minutes long, but it's really cool.
All right, yeah, I'd love to see that. Oh wow, they even brought back three cast members from part 7 into it. Okay. They did a fan-made movie, the part 7, that has Jason Freddy in it. Wow, okay.
Ooh. There's so many fan films nowadays.
Yeah, fan films are really they're spiking. I think part of it has to do with the fact that the studios are relaxing. They're going like, instead of, as long as I think they tell the creators, listen, you can do your movie, but here's what you can't do. You can't have Jason die. You can't have him kill kids. You can't have him get his ass whipped by a cat. You can't have him eat. Right? Those are certain things that you just can't do. And as long as you do that, then we're cool. Whereas before they'd be just like, no, you can't do anything. You can't do anything at all. Because the way the studios look at it, it's free publicity. Especially when they grab a cast member, from an old movie or whatnot, they put him into the movie. I mean, it's like, wow, okay, you're spending $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 that we're not going to have to do, and you're helping, move us, keep the movie in the series in the spotlight. It's a win-win situation. And as long as the creators of the fan films do what the studios want, then they're fine. I mean, the only problem I would have is, if you're going to make a movie like that, you got to give the filmmakers a chance to make their money. That's the only thing I would sit there and say, listen, there's got to be a way for you guys to make their money back.
Yeah.
Because you crowdfund $100,000 to make a fan film. How are you going to get that money back? What's the point? The point you're making these fan films is to hopefully make a little bit of money. And if you go to work with a studio, and you keep track of your expenses and income, maybe you say, okay, fine, we're going to let you recoup your first 100,000, and then after that we'll let you have like 60% up to 150 or 200,000, and then after that, then it's like 30 and then 20 or whatnot. So the studio makes their money, and the filmmakers make their money. You keep the series up in the public's eye, everybody wins.
Very true. Very true. It's called Friday the 13th Roseblood.
All right.
I'm gonna look that up, Echo. That's awesome.
Gonna look that up too. All right, this is the part where we're going to tell you everybody what do we got for our channels, and then we'll let you guys all go, and we're going to invite our special guest Gore, who looks like he wants to sleep. Real quick, Keith, what do you got on your channel this week?
I've got an interview. I'm doing a 5-part miniseries interviewing some of the collectors and YouTubers that got me and my channel started, and I will start that. That'll be Wednesday at 9:15.
Sweet.
I've got another one Saturday. I won't tell you who I got Wednesday at this point, but I will tell you who I have Saturday. Saturday at noon, I have Tony from Holding Taj.
Awesome.
And then next Saturday, I have 4K D-Ray.
Nice. The good.
I still got two more horror tubers that I want to get. I haven't confirmed them yet, but when I do, but right now I'm leaving Wednesday the 13th as a surprise. It'll be a good one too.
All right, awesome. Looking forward to that. And you're doing a Gore Wrestle show on Saturdays.
Yes, it's WrestleGoria.
WrestleGoria. And that's on Saturdays. What time on Saturday?
There's more to Gore than Gore.
Is there going to be what time is your WrestleGore? Gore WrestleMania Gore?
That's the one with the tournament, right?
It's 9:05.
I want Gore.
9:05 Eastern. There you go.
9:05. Tuesday, I'm still doing horror. I still do horror all the rest of the time, but I'm branching off doing other stuff.
That's right.
There's a lot of things going on, and I mean a lot of changes going on right now. So,
Gore is going to be back with us for our ranking show of Friday the 13th. So he'll be coming back to throw his hat into the ring as far as his favorite moments in the series. So he didn't know that till right this very second, but he just now you know, Gore.
That's interesting considering everything. Yeah.
That's my surprise for you.
well, here in about 2 minutes, we're going to discuss all this.
Yeah, because we don't know the exact data that is. We are going to be taking a 2-week break on May 1st and May 8th because Al is going on vacation. So I know that for sure Echo Zero and Mr. Bones are coming up with me on May 1st and the 8th. And I don't know what we're going to do yet. We might have some fun. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have, we're going to chop it up. Al, what do you got going on this week?
This week I have another Dollar Tree Theater coming at you. I'm talking about The Girl in the Crawl Space is the movie I'm covering.
You're doing that. Good one.
Yep, doing that one.
Yeah.
And that's going to drop late Monday, early Tuesday. And then Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be going live again with To Be Tuesday. I'll be on. Me and Katie will be on for probably about an hour. Katie should be back this week, and we are talking a movie called I Am Lisa. It's a werewolf movie, so we're going to be talking about that one.
Okay, that's a new werewolf movie I've never heard of. Yeah. I was sort of hoping you guys would do Blood Claws.
I didn't know that there was a Blood Claws. I may have to look into that.
We might have to cover that on May 1st. I'm thinking that's what me and Echo might have to cover on May 1st. We might have to cover Blood Claws.
Christmas in May. Yeah, there you
go. Well, you're part of the family, Bones. That's what you mean. You have to come up and help me out on the society. What do we got here? I'm glad you asked. So this week, this week we got 4 shows this week. 4. Tomorrow we have actress and professional photographer Holly Lynch will be with us. On the 12th, we have filmmaker Caleb Baker. He'll be joining us at 8:00. On the 13th, we have a cosplayer and an actress, Jenny Aguilar Mickelson. And then on next Thursday, the 14th, we have one of the stars of Amityville in Space. Give it up, Amityville in Space. Tim Hatch will be here with us at 8 o'clock.
Awesome.
And yeah, I can't wait to talk to him about that. That's gonna be a extravaganza for sure. Or I was gonna say that's gonna be a spectacular, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. All right, boys and girls, that's it for us. We will see you next Sunday on Al's channel as Jason takes what? Brooklyn?
Manhattan.
Sorry, Jason.
AKA Jason takes a cruise.
Jason takes a love boat. All right, Jason on the love boat next Sunday on Al Lucard's channel. I want to thank you guys in the chat for coming out. Thank you so much. Your support's been awesome. I appreciate that. Debbie, hope to see you next Sunday. Everybody else, yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.